Welcome to Like Pigs in Space, Arts and Culture Podcast. I'm Aaron Mason,
I'm Max Mason.
and this week it's Max's turn to. I hope I didn't
Hopefully.
prepare anything.
Well, I prepared a lot. Hopefully, it's not too much.
Oh
But
no, we're
it
going.
tends,
We're go-
tends to happen.
Yeah,
Um,
well, I think that's good. I think that the thing that this is telling me is that maybe you're ready for some more extensive schooling, and whatever that means. Like if it's training for work or something like that, you seem to be able to have good study skills. So I'm
Think so.
impressed.
Hope so. Well, this
Yeah.
one, gonna be talking about an album, but there's so many like tangents and things that I ended
Oh
up
no.
going off on, and that I think are important and probably appropriate to the album and the artist. Um,
Well, that's kind of mysterious.
yeah.
That sounds like an exciting one to talk about.
Yeah. I don't really have like a intro question like usual.
Okay.
There'll be, parts for that later on. But I do. Well, I think I'll just start before I talk about the actual album. I'll just talk about the artist.
Okay.
And the artist is named Sophie.
Sophie. Oh, you know what? This is going to be interesting because I think this is an artist that a guy here told me about and I haven't listened to yet. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
in fact, I think they said it was one of their favorite ones that had been released recently. So I'll have to see if it's the same one you're talking about.
It's recent. Well, we'll get to that later.
Not real recent, but
Yeah. Did they mention at all like the genre at all? Or do you have any idea? Or
just no. I just know what they like. So it's somebody my age, but they've got very eclectic, even maybe more obscure tastes than me
okay.
as a whole.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So I guess we'll just start by talking about Sophie. So Sophie is she's from England. And a little bit about her like early life is she was exposed to electronic music and rave music pretty early on, like with her parents, and to the point where she was just like, I don't want to go to school anymore. I just want to learn how to make electronic music, which didn't happen, but you still had to go to school. But she spent a lot of her, adolescence and early adulthood just learning music and learning a lot of like production and recording and things like that. And until around 2013 is when she started putting out singles, and some like pretty big singles in like electronic music and dance music and kind of in the underground scene, but it exploded really fast. Like there's songs like Bip and L. They're all kind of cool. They're all just singles, and they're kind of cool because they all had like these like 3D renderings of like slides and shoots and stuff.
Yeah.
Not that it had a whole lot to play into the actual music, but it was a fun thematic through line.
Okay.
And then another big one was a song called Lemonade, which
Yeah.
you might have heard because it was used in a McDonald's commercial.
Oh, well, that's it. I'm big on my McDonald's music.
Yeah. But during this time, she was kind of faceless. Like no one knew who she was, what her anything about her, and the vocals are very like pitched up and auto tuned. That it kind of obscured her even more. But she started working with a couple of people. Most importantly, A.G. Cook is the guy who started a music label called PC Music, which I'd heard about for a little while and never looked too much into. Because when I first heard it, I was like, do you mean like politically correct music? Like it's kind of a weird thing to name your entire label after, but whatever.
Right.
But really, I think it probably means like personal computer music because it's very electronic music.
Yeah. Cool.
is really like huge in the development of like hyperpop music, and kind of grew the popularity of bubblegum bass is what it was called. But it's just like very percussive bass led music.
Okay.
And there's a lot of like really great artists like who are on this label. Sophie wasn't, but she worked with a lot of them. So there's A.G. Cook, Easy Fun, Hannah Diamond, Kane West,
Yeah. Okay.
and Tommy Cash.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is kind of where he started popping up first.
That's funny.
But then a lot of these artists also started working with other like bigger artists like Carly Rae Jepsen, and
Yeah.
I think someone even worked with like Lady Gaga, and kind of started to popularize and normalize this like very intense, kind of neurotically composed music.
Okay.
It's like very involved. And there's a whole bunch more it can go into about like PC music. And
Do you think with that kind of thing, because it seems like with a lot of these groups, they're as far as the producers, they're not necessarily the mainstream group is the mainstream group, but then the producers bring in these very specific sounds to try and create a new sound for that artist, but without without them being an over dominating force, the kind of the new person. It just seems like people like is it Benny
Blanco.
Benny Blanco brings in like these obscure folks into his big name artists.
Yeah.
Like that.
I think it was a little different because
Okay.
with a lot of the people on the PC music, if a bigger artist worked with them, it was a completely different song than what the bigger artist would have done.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. That's good. That's good to have your voice.
So like I'll talk a little more later about that. But so that was Sophie and PC Music and A.G. Cook. They helped kind of popularize this what would become hyperpop that really took off in like in 2020 with a couple of artists. But this, well before that, this was laying all the groundwork for that.
Okay.
So in 2015, though, a lot of Sophie's singles were compiled into this album called Product. And it was all songs. I think it was mostly songs that are all heard before, maybe a few extra ones that she was getting ready to release anyways. But there's a lot of ideas there, a lot of ideas that aren't like, the songs aren't all super long. They're just kind of showing what she's capable of.
Yeah.
And laying the groundwork for what would become her first like proper debut album.
Cool.
But even then, right away, there was nothing else that really sounded like what she was doing. Like it was very percussive and metallic, while still being like really like danceable, and it was just a lot of fun stuff. They recently released Product onto streaming services.
Okay.
And it's so fun just to listen through. But yeah, so that came out, and then between 2015 and 2018, when the album I'm going to talk about came out, she did a lot of production for other artists.
Okay.
So one of them being Charlie XCX again, did this whole EP with her, the Vroom Vroom EP.
Okay. All right.
Which, oh man, Vroom Vroom is a great song.
Okay.
Song rules. But she also did stuff with she did a song with Madonna during this time. Did a couple of songs for Vince Staples. He was a rapper.
Yeah.
Which I never listened to too much. But I was like, I should probably listen to the songs that she did while I'm talking about her. And the big one she did too, but the more popular one is called Yeah Right.
Okay.
And it's good. But I never knew that on the back end of it, there's a Kendrick Lamar verse.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's like, oh man, I missed out on this great Kendrick verse working with Sophie, like two of my favorite artists working together.
Yeah, that's really cool. Oh my goodness.
So she did that, and but it was becoming apparent that she was maturing and refining her sound and getting ready to put out her own album.
Okay.
And that album is called Oil of Every Pearl's Uninsides.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's a lot.
so the idea is that, she's British, I think, has some like Scottish heritage, but it sounds kind of like I love every person's insides
Oh,
if said in kind of like a Scottish accent.
that's really good. I like that.
I think I saw something that when she came up with the name, she told people and no one liked it. She's like, it's probably what I should name it then.
Yeah.
But at this point, she was still kind of unknown, her identity. And there's a lot of questions coming about like, oh, is this just some guy pretending to be a girl for like clout? And so she made herself known in the first single for the album called It's Okay to Cry. And we'll talk about more later. But the music video revealed her face, straight up how she is, and it had her like unaltered singing voice.
Oh,
And it's a little auto-tuned to still fit the aesthetics, but it's not pitched up crazy. It's just her like natural voice. And what this also revealed is her identity as a trans woman.
right. Okay.
And this leads me into one of my first, well, probably second tangent technically, where I got thinking a lot about other trans women I know in music, and especially like electronic music. And there's so many, and they're all like so good at what they do. So you have people like Lauren Less from 100 Gex.
Okay.
You have April from Underscores, who I'll probably talk about an Underscores album
Okay.
at
All
some
right.
point. It's really great. You have Arca and Kim Petras and Jane Remover, just a lot of like really great artists. But the one most important I want to talk about is someone named Wendy Carlos.
Okay.
And she worked with Robert Moog to develop the first Moog synthesizer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back in 1964.
Okay.
So she was like really the modern electronic music wouldn't look how it looks without her.
Okay.
And she
That's
also helped
interesting.
kind of popularize it and normalize like using synthesizers like this.
Yeah.
Her first like big album was called Switched on Bach, where it's just Bach music.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
I know I've heard of that.
Yeah. But also that success led to her like experimenting a lot more in like ambient music and microtonal music.
Okay.
And she also did scores for Clockwork Orange,
Yes.
The Shining, and Tron.
Oh, that okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I guess I saw she also did an album called Peter and the Wolf, which I think is just Peter and the Wolf, but she did it with Weird Al.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she's just like this great, really creative, really important voice in electronic music. So very cool.
That is very cool.
But this also led me to like wanting to do a lot more research on trans women in electronic music, because like the music that they create is like always so dense and layered and energetic and wild and abrasive, and it feels like it pulls from like hundreds of influences every song. Every song is so like vast and crazy, and
Okay.
and so wanting to I didn't do a ton, but it made me
All
think
right.
like wanting to look into that more in the future. Like what about being trans translates to this like music production and
Right.
this
Right.
style. My main hypothesis, just kind of thinking about it, is like becoming like realizing that you're trans. You kind of have to break down everything, like break down gender and
Right.
identity and how that relates to culture, the society as it is right now, and kind of build something from those pieces all together.
Yeah.
And so I'd imagine, and so that's probably why their music is a lot like that. They just take everything, all little pieces, and mash it together into their own unique identity. And you can really tell that because you can't confuse these songs with other songs. Like you wouldn't confuse a 100 Gex song with a SOPHIE song, or
Right.
with an underscore song. Like they all, you'd know, like if you're familiar enough with the artist, you would know right away who was who.
That's really that's an interesting coincidence or synchronicity between what you've experienced on those, because I think that's kind of the core of it, like you're saying, is breaking down what is expected
Hmm.
and creating something new and having to be very clear about the pieces of each that you pick out.
Yeah, and like
Interesting.
just like, if you knew someone personally, like someone's personality, you wouldn't confuse their personality with someone else.
Right. Oh, okay. There you go.
So
Nice.
that's what I'm thinking, worth looking into in the future. But
Your working theory right
yeah,
now. Okay.
my doctorate research or
Okay.
whatever.
Perfect.
So there's a few more singles that came out before the album came out. But just a little more like background before I jump too far into it is that across the album, I think she wanted it to sound a little more organic in a way. So a lot of like the clean vocals are done by someone named Cecil Believe. She also
Right.
went by Mozart's sister, just like
Okay.
as a stage name.
Yeah.
So she does a lot of the singing on this album. They both do, but if it's something that, as I talk about more later, if it's something that you can understand, it was probably Cecil.
Okay. All right.
Um,
All right.
so yeah, let's get into it. We'll get into the first track,
Okay.
which is "It's Okay to Cry," and it's a very calm, light start to the album. And you have Sophie singing her just normal voice. A lot of these lyrics about like accepting and loving someone for who they are and being there to like carry their hurt and their burdens. But even with this, even with as light and calm as it is, there's still a lot of weirdness to it.
Okay.
Like in the chorus, there's like very thick bass that is still quiet, but it's like rumbly. Like I listen to it like in my car speakers, and they're not great, but it's like the lowest rumble I've ever heard come out of the speakers is in this song.
Oh wow. Cool.
And there's also like an explosion sound that's kind of used as a crash cymbal.
Okay.
That it gets warped up and torn all around too. But
yeah. That's cool. I'm when you said the title, I immediately think of Sesame Street, because there's a song called "It's All Right to Cry."
Yeah.
And in fact, you did it. It was on the album that we had. And it was. So it's interesting. I'm wondering if it's similar or if it's fully new, or
Yeah.
So now I need to listen and see. Is this a cover tune, or is this something?
She drawing her inspiration from Sesame Street. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think it would be too out of character for her.
Right.
But yeah, in the you get a like pretty grand finale, like these big like EDM swells, synths.
Okay.
That with still the cool metal percussive stuff towards the end. But that's a song. It's pretty quick. A lot of these songs are pretty quick, like under 4 minutes. They don't go on too long. But then we get to the next song, which was the next single too, called Pony Boy.
Okay.
And this song is so dirty in every way.
Oh no.
In the same way that like it's not explicit, in the same way that like Baby Got Back isn't technically explicit, but it does have some like very challenging ideas.
Okay.
But it's like the beat is super dirty, and the vocals are like manipulated and grumbly and dirty, and the lyrics are like so like graphic and depraved sexually and like relentless the whole time. I'll read the first verse for you.
Oh no.
Because it's also important with
Okay.
how she makes some songs. So
Okay.
so it's lock up the door, put the pony on all fours, crack down the whip, make the pony bite the bit, spit on my face, put the pony in his place. I am your toy, just a little pony boy.
Okay.
And the thing with that is that in her songs and in some of her like early songs on like the Product album, is that there's a lot of like word painting, which is like one of my favorite things in music. Comes from like class like romantic era music,
Okay.
where like a basic idea would be like if a lyric was like we're going up to the mountain, the lyric would like we're going up to the mountain kind of
Oh,
thing. Where it's
okay.
like
All right. All right.
where
All right.
like
I see
the
what you're saying.
lyrics kind of tell you what the music is doing in
Okay.
which I really love in a lot of songs. But the way she does it is crazy because like there's the lyric like spit on my face and it sounds like a synth is like spitting on you.
Okay. All right.
There's like a
all right.
whip sound, and there's a song on Product called Viz, and
Okay.
there's like lyrics about like squishing something. And it sounds like she's just like holding a sound and it goes like squishes it in her hands.
So not to detract, but what's interesting about that is I was having somebody was teaching a lesson on how to do American Sign Language,
Hmm.
and when the guy was instructing us, he says that let's say you're saying that you're gonna drive to somebody's house, and you will also, as you're doing it, you're like, I went and got in the car and I drove to, and so you'll do the sign also with emotion showing what you're doing, which
Yeah.
is kind of that kind of maybe there's an innate thing where to make it doubly expressive when you've got a limitation of they can't hear the words that you're saying, or in the song they can't see the actions that you're doing. There's a
Right.
way to, it's kind of taking advantage of the other senses to express the idea that you're wanting to do doubly or more, because when we communicate face to face and can see visually and hear everything, it's a full experience just naturally, but then this realizes the limitations.
Yeah, I
That's
think
interesting.
that's definitely like appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's that song, and it's just relentless the whole time. There's like this the beat is just hard and
yeah.
in your face the whole time. But yeah, it's probably like the most like sexual, like kinky song I know.
Okay.
And like, I've heard other ones that like talk about it's, sexual things, but this one is just like every part of the song is that.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can't really escape it. So yeah, that's that one.
There you go.
So the next song, it was the third and final single. It's called Face Shopping.
Okay.
And I'll just read it's kind of the chorus, or like, it's not really a chorus, but like the theme, or what's the word I'm thinking of? Kind of like an overture in a way.
Okay. All right. That works.
So it's my face is the front of shop. My face is the real shop front. My shop is the face I front. I'm real when I shop my face.
Oh, wow.
And so there's lyrics. There are lyrics. I'll get to that. But if you hear the song, you're gonna be like, "There's not lyrics." But there's lyrics.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like about like beauty standards, feeling the need for like perfection and things like that. But I think it's also about Sophie wanting like control of her image.
Okay.
Being very
sure.
faceless before was intentional.
Yeah.
There was times when she was like hired to do like DJ sets, and she would hire somebody to pretend to be her doing the set while she was dressed up in the crowd like a bodyguard or like a security guard.
Okay.
And wouldn't have
Yeah.
just because she wanted that much control of how she was perceived.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But yeah, because of that, that's when she started getting rumors of like being just some dude trying to pretend to be a woman. But this is where I kind of want to maybe detour again and talk about just the production and the sound design on this album, because it's just wild. But I want to start with one question, and it's like when you're listening to music, do you like visualize anything? Like, is there like a consistent kind of image or something playing in your head as you're listening?
Yes, sometimes it's very, very much so. I can get depending on the song, it can start playing into some kind of visual journey where sometimes I'm picturing, if it's a very personal song, I might be picturing how this would be, how somebody would be saying this to somebody else.
Mm,
Or if it's obviously a story to the song, I'm trying to visualize the story. I kind of visualize
mhm.
as if it was a video. But yeah, it depends, right?
Yeah.
It depends on, but I always have kind of a visual thing
Yeah.
going on for sure.
For me, like pretty consistently, unless the depends on the song, but if it's just kind of a normal everyday song, I kind of visualize it as like a recording session, like the
Hmm.
computer, like seeing the little bits of audio files coming in and out, just because I've
Yeah.
worked with that a
Yes.
lot.
Yeah.
So it's
That
just kind of
makes sense.
ingrained in my head. It's like that's how songs look.
Yeah.
So it's either that or like a record player. Like I can like visualize the needle moving or like the song like spinning around.
Yeah.
Um,
That is really interesting because that does seem. I mean, that does agree with how I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that that's what you visualize.
yeah. But all of that is to say that that it's not possible when I'm listening to this album. That doesn't
Okay.
happen. um, in one sense, it kind of feels like a live performance. Like it feels like you're
Yeah.
watching these songs happen. But that performance is Sophie with like 1,000 arms, grabbing sounds and throwing them around the room and just hitting you with stuff and like stretching out sounds and just crazy. Like it's so like visceral and visual that it's impossible to really visualize it any other way,
Right.
at least for me.
Right.
This one, like this song Face Shopping, it feels like she is some sort of like industrial factory.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Like there's
that's
these like
cool.
pipe sounded
Yeah.
like metal pipes and glass, like conveyor belt sounds.
Mhm.
And the vocals are just like so manipulated and bassy and pitched down, like way down. That like, yeah, I listened to it probably a dozen times. Didn't know there was lyrics during the verses
Oh,
part.
okay.
And this is another thing that I'd kind of suspected about her music, but was confirmed when I was doing more research for this, is that every sound, aside from vocals, every sound is completely synthesized.
Okay.
When
All right.
like, it would have been easy just to find like a metal pipe sound effect and sample it and pitch it up and down as needed. But she didn't do that. She created the sound completely from like a single sine wave into this wild percussive sound.
Oh, that is different.
Yeah, which is crazy. Like I don't even have any idea how that's possible. How time consuming it would be to twist all the little knobs to get that sound effect and
Yeah.
uh,
Well, that neurosis does exist, and I
mhm,
mean, there's a synth or a way to create songs on the Vic 20 that would be
mhm.
the same kind of problem.
Yeah.
And so it's probably easier now, but people used to program that in,
Yeah.
like line at a time.
Yeah.
So,
But I think that's another thing that makes Sophie really unique is that these sounds are synthesized and they're like wholly unique. Like it was always going to
yeah,
be a sound that she creates. And that got me thinking about like modular synthesizers. Like, have you ever seen those?
I think so.
Yeah, they're like they'll maybe have a little keyboard, but just like this wall of
Yeah.
like knobs and switches and input jacks, and you have those little aux cables, crisscrossed all over the place.
Yeah. So that's what I picture whenever anybody says a synthesizer,
Hmm.
because that's the first exposure. Is that kind of synth? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
also like that's what like the first that Moog synth that Wendy
yeah.
Carlos had worked on. That's what it was,
Yeah.
just like that.
Yeah, so that's the idea. Whenever I see something, whenever you say, "Oh, I've got," initially when people would say, "Oh, it's synthesizer," I would picture the knobs,
Hmm.
and then you make it move around because, yeah, they have some of these are really complicated. I was
Yeah.
just looking at some of them.
I know I've been really interested in them for a while, and I feel like it's something that could completely engulf my whole life.
Right,
But
right.
luckily, I don't have like 20K to drop on making one, and because they're
Y-
expensive.
Yeah, yeah. But there's one here for just $100. It's
That's just one though.
yeah, I think it's a picture, not
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Oh, it's software. Anyway,
Okay.
it replicates a massive board, but yeah, the Moog
Mm,
one next to it is 12,000.
yeah. So there you go.
So,
But yeah, a couple weeks ago we were walking around Mississippi Street, and there's a store there called Control Voltage that has these synthesizers. And it's a super cool store because you walk in and they're just like, "Hey, everything's on. There's headphones there. Go play them and have fun."
wow.
And it was really cool. They had a theremin there,
Oh,
and it was like
fun.
it's like, oh, I want to get this. It was
That's very cool. Did you try it out? Did you have
the
you
theremin or
the
just all of them?
anything? Yeah.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay.
I couldn't, I didn't really know what I was doing, so I couldn't quite figure out. There was one board that was making sounds, and so I was like, okay, I'm gonna try connecting some cables and see if I can change this sound into something.
Yeah.
And I couldn't. I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, maybe it would
But
be good to. I think some of these have like a software replication. It might be good to go through those and kind of get
mhm,
your grounding, your training on it, and then take it
yeah,
to the real world.
yeah,
But very cool.
yeah.
That'd be
They're
that's the
super
fun
cool.
store.
They were really nice there, so I think if I ever do have the money to drop on it, I'll probably go there and
You should go. You should go be friends with them and just
yeah.
hang out and learn it really well.
Yeah, I'm sure they would just like
Yeah.
yeah, teach, give
You
little
you have
tutorials.
potential. Yeah, you have potential to not be not be a lost cause if they were to show you something, right?
Yeah,
So,
and it's right next to a Cuban restaurant, so that's fun too.
oh well, there you go. Then you'll be full and happy and synth.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's that. It's just crazy sounds and production that are just really unlike anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going into the next song. It's called "Is It Cold in the Water."
Hmm.
And this one it's another like it's pretty simple lyrically, like dance and rave music isn't known for its like lyrical depth all the time.
Right.
But it's it's about feeling cold and distant and alone.
Right.
But it is that in the lyrics, but also in the sound of it, it feels very timeless. Like it feels like you are frozen. There's no like real pulse. There's no percussion. It's just this wall of these like swelling, icy synths that kind of build up. There's Cecil singing there, but
Oh,
even that's
cool.
very like spacey and slow. And the icy the synth sound that is there, it is harsh in a way, but it's also like really pretty and really
Oh,
beautiful
cool.
to listen to. You just feel like completely wrapped up in this sound. And it kind of ends pretty abruptly. Like it's a long enough song, but it does end abruptly, I think, to feel more cold in
Hmm.
that way.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I'll talk about this a little later. But this album is like it's really great to listen to with your eyes closed. Like
Okay.
if you're just getting the sound into your brain and not any other visuals,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just me because whatever, but it feel you get a lot from it.
Yeah, I think we miss out on that kind of experience because of how things can come to us these now.
Hmm.
But when I was first listening to music and picking my own, if I wanted to listen to it on my own, I had to sit in one place,
Hmm.
have large headphones on, and listen because that's all there was.
Yeah.
And so it was always interesting because I could hear more of the sound
Mm.
and initially and then you'd hear it in other formats. You're like, oh, it's okay. But
Yeah.
so yeah,
So
I
something
I
you
can
kind of
appreciate that.
yeah, it's something you kind of miss on when most of the time you're listening to music is like driving around, and
Yeah.
it makes me question like if I have like the synesthesia
No.
that like where people see colors when they
Right.
hear a sound,
Right.
certain notes. There's other forms of it, but like it really makes me question like because I don't know, you get a lot of shapes and colors and
Yeah.
feelings
I
just from the sound alone.
I think I do sometimes because I sometimes I can type out a word on the number pad just because the word
Hmm.
looks like a number. So
Yeah,
like, oh no, not those.
I know there's a lot of artists that like arrange their music that way. It's like, well, these shapes feel good
Sure.
together. So
Yeah.
this drum or this snare sound is gonna fit good in here.
I almost think like it does create a picture for them of I don't know. I I've had it's kind of like when I'm writing a poem, like what fills it out, what words, what expression, how long of a sentence needs to be there. I can understand how you could hear something and know that there's some, or if you taste, I can visualize taste. When I'm trying to plan out a meal or plan out something new, I can taste it and visualize, or even before I even start cooking, visualize the flavor that it will need to be added to get to where I'm going and what I need to keep out of it.
Yeah. Is it something where it's like specific, like, oh, I'm gonna need cumin
No, yeah, it's
or
very
salt, or is it something like I just need a like sharper flavor here or something mellow?
it's pretty specific.
Okay.
Yeah. I still do this thing where I look through the cupboard, look at all the ingredients and visualize what I can make. And what how to make it taste right. Like I need to combat that with this, do this. Yeah. So it's a weird it's weird, I know, but it is what happens.
Yeah. Seems to work.
Yeah, sometimes. It's been a lot of failures.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay. So yeah, that's that song. So with Is It Cold in the Water, I think yes is what she's trying to say. Is like, yes, it is cold.
Okay. Very good.
So next song is Infatuation.
Okay.
Pretty much what it sounds like in the title. The lyrics that get kind of repeated are infatuation, who are you deep down, I want to know.
Okay.
But so this song, it's kind of spacey and a little glitchy in some ways, but it's very quiet. It has some soft percussive sounds. A lot of the vocals are whispered and kind of ethereal in that way. And then the chord progression is pretty simple the whole way through. But what it does with that is, I think in that lyric, like, who are you deep down, the song like gets deeper and gets heavier and gets wider because they're like digging into like, okay, who are you, who reveal this like deeper part of you, this wider, more expansive part. And things get, they get deeper, they get wider, they get maybe a little noisier. And the vocals along with that get more passionate, maybe even a little unflattering in how they're delivered, because it's not, it's not the point to sound good, it's the point to sound like honest.
Right, that makes sense.
But then it ends kind of with this like squishy bubbling sound at the end, is like a little taste for the next track to come.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so cool. Some of these sounds are just wild.
I do want to hear that, because I mean, as long as we're talking electronic music, you're like, Sophie created all the sounds, and then I started with this with Yellow, the band, who had the largest library of recorded sounds.
Yeah.
And so kind of the opposite, but they made a point of using as much of it as you could. And so sometimes you'd hear this repeated, like a chicken or a rooster crowing, like, or more of a chicken sound, but but like worked so that it was like they're pushing a note, like the kind of type, but it was just random and it didn't seem part of the story, but it was definitely part of the music, and it definitely was. It sounds like this has a lot of interesting sounds, and that's what is the fascinating part of it.
Yeah. I like sampling.
Sampling
is really fun. It's something that, along with like the modular synth, it's like, man, there's just so much you can do with it. Like that's another reason why I think like hip hop is such a great art form, is largely because of sampling.
Yeah, I think it's really fun. There's a couple albums, sorry to get off but on track, but there's a couple albums that everybody is like, man, if that album could have only been made then, because now it would be too expensive to make that album. Yeah. So early Beastie Boys, early De La Soul are so many samples, especially De La Soul. Just so many samples. There's one that in like a 10-second bit, there's probably 10 samples too that are distinct that like including Michael Jackson. So
Yeah.
like, which is just the sound they had, just the samples they had in just one song would have cost what it probably cost to make the whole album today. So
yeah. I was thinking about De La Soul today and kind of about, or a little while ago, about the like production and how like a De La Soul isn't probably, it wouldn't be like a De La Soul album without like the Prince Paul.
Yeah.
I was recently there was that new Clips album that came out. Who Clips, they're the two rappers, the two brothers. It's Malice and Pusha T. But the production was all done by the Neptunes.
Okay.
Which was some guy, I think his name is Mike, and Pharrell.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they kind of had a falling out, and with this new album, with the Neptunes, it's just Pharrell, but like, it wouldn't be a Clips album without Pharrell there.
Right.
Kind of deal.
Gotcha.
And so his production's all over that, and it's great.
Yeah. Well, and it's always interesting and then you just can keep going, like, which version of a band do you like, their original effort or after Rick Rubin got a hold of them, because the Chili Peppers were fine. Yeah. And Rick Rubin got them and they became legendary. Just their production, right. I mean, just his standards for saying, you have to be sober. It's just it was just enough to probably give them enough clarity to write better, and then to know that the Beastie Boys and Rick Rubin were basically the Beastie Boys to begin with. I mean, that's where it's just unreal that's where he came from. That was the first thing, and that they were little punks running around all together, and that was the thing. And but just the amazingness of it all is. Right.
I know I've seen some things like people trying to like discredit Rick Rubin, and I think he kind of plays into like his own mythos in a way of being like, I don't know anything about music, I just have a good ear. It's like I'm sure he does know some stuff about music.
He also has confidence too.
But there's someone who's like talking about the Chop Suey, where the story is like the bridge needs some lyrics, and he's like, oh, just grab a book and read the lyrics off of it, and that'll be. And it's like, it's like, what was the point of that? Like, they're already a successful band without Rick Rubin. And it's like, also Rick Rubin was a part of System of a Down from the beginning,
right?
Like, he produced their first album, he was always with them.
Yeah, and so that is the thing, and regardless of music knowledge. The thing is that Rick Rubin and System of a Down, Rick Rubin and Beastie Boys, Chili Peppers, it's not the fact of this legendary direction they took them. It's the fact that they trusted each other. Yeah. So if I came in off the street and told Serge to go and get a book and read it, he'd like, shut up. Right. But Rick says it, and it's like, yeah, let's try that, because it's a honest, and they know that he has their best interest. Right. And so he's not just saying some random crap. He's saying, let's try this out. And they're collaborative on it. They are willing to do that work together. So I can understand. I mean, okay, you can break it down to something, but there's a whole it's those soft skills, right? that make a difference. Yeah, it was the 100 other great ideas beforehand, or unheard of ideas beforehand, that made this like more simple idea seem better and work better. The 1,000 small slices, right? Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, sorry. No, it's good. It's good stuff. Okay, so next track is called Not Okay. All right. And it's really short. It's less than 2 minutes. I think it's kind of a remnant of her earlier singles. Okay. Like from the Product album, where it's like, it has this like very traditional sounding vocal hook that you could hear anywhere. Like it's not too crazy, but everything around it is just completely deconstructed and wild. I wrote down that it's like, it sounds like you took a club banger song,
broke it into random blocks and tried to play Jenga with it.
Mm. That's also
And
how
like,
you use that synthesizer you were looking at too. So
yeah,
just when you go back in, you're like, oh, let me Jenga it.
yeah. But there's a really cool part where it's like these like house chords where it's like
Okay.
but, and there's another one where it's like throws it at you and it's like, actually, I want that one back.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So it's like kind of starts to fade out and then it's like, ooh, comes back at
Yeah.
you.
Nice. I like it.
It's just really cool. But yeah, that's it. It's pretty short. You get the main idea of it out and around pretty quickly.
That's cool.
And then we go to the next song, track 7 at this point, called Pretending.
Okay.
And this is the second longest song. It's almost 6 minutes. And it is just ambient. I guess there's technically words, but they don't show up too often. Kind of just a little bit in the background at the end.
Okay.
And it's more just for texture. And when I was first listening to it, preparing for this, I think the most appropriate way to kind of describe it, and I think in spirit of the song of like pretending, is kind of recounting the story that happened in my head as I was listening to it.
Gotcha.
So wrote it all out. I'll try not to stutter too much.
Oh, no, you're okay.
Okay, so here we go. I am underwater, large light barely above me, either floating up or sinking down. The outline of something incredibly large approaches. Try to understand its shape, makeup, origin, anything. Whatever it has noticed me. Lights emanate from it as I am engulfed in the light. Momentary feel of peace until I look behind me, I see the ocean grow distant and unfamiliar. This inconceivable structure captures me and tries to introduce itself. I'm unaware if it accepts me or not as I'm pulled upward, then kicked out. Whatever this thing wanted, it must have gotten an engine revs up and quickly dissipates, leaving behind an echo and a hopeful message. The next song.
Oh, wow. Stream of consciousness is very weird, huh?
Mm-hmm. But like I listened to it a couple times because I want to be like, is that really what I'm feeling? Is it going to be different every time? And it was pretty consistently that.
Interesting.
So I'm sure with anyone else, it probably get different images and.
Yeah, it's always interesting what sounds will make you feel what way. When I was taking a poetry class, the professor would bring in, he had sound. They just recorded sound in outer space. So it was, I don't know what mission it was, but they just recorded space sound. And he'd just sit and play that for about 10 minutes. And it's fascinating because it is very difficult to understand why it feels the way it feels, because it's not much. But it's like, why did those sounds make you see that?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, do you feel like the title fed into the imagery that you felt?
I think that it maybe more allowed me to do that. Like, it wasn't going to be like with the other songs, like I'm talking about, cold water or infatuation. This one is just like pretending. So when you're listening to this, just think about, just pretend and see what comes to you naturally.
So that's an interesting take on how the word's used, because I think for different people it would come across differently. So for you thought about, I can pretend. Pretend and what that and play. And for others, it could mean I'm pretending to be something else and I'm hiding something, so it would reveal a inner dark secret, let's say.
Yeah.
And based on the individual artist, you would think that it could have both meanings, obviously. That's
right.
But it's interesting the imagery that you got from it, because it doesn't feel sad or hidden or like they're still pretending. It does sound more like you have permission to pretend. So that's an interesting outcome from something that could have been very melancholy or sad.
Yeah. And I think just like being familiar with Sophie's work, I think that is maybe more what she would have wanted to.
Okay, cool.
Like I think that she has a lot of fun in her music, and like as weird and harsh and as it can sound at times, there's still like an underlying layer of fun
Yeah,
and individuality and
that's cool.
stuff like that.
That's cool.
So yeah, as the song ends, it kind of just very subtly pushes you into the next song, which is called Immaterial.
Okay.
Which is kind of funny because it was originally going to be called Immaterial Girl, which was a play on Material Girl,
Right.
which is also funny because she worked with Madonna. But this song, I loved this song from the very first time I heard it. Like the very first couple notes, I was like, oh yes, this is going to be good. Which I'm really glad that happened. That I'm glad that like I didn't get stagnant in
Right.
my like early middle school, high school music taste.
Oh yeah.
Because I know something like this I wouldn't have really liked,
Yeah.
and would have probably dismissed as being just noise or too sugary or something.
Oh, cool.
But I'm glad that I didn't listen to it when it came out. I didn't know, but I listened to it a couple years later, and I was like I'm glad that I took the time, like I put in actual like conscious effort to develop my like taste in music
Right.
and become more open, that I could enjoy something like this, and I do, and a lot.
What?
It's not as like I'm enjoying it because I feel I need to. It's just like I'm enjoying it because I do enjoy it.
Yeah. Why do you feel like you made that conscious effort? And what was?
I think for me it's like kind of tied into another reason, but like I was thinking like if I want to make music a big part of my life, I should enjoy music. And there's a lot of music. I think one of the first moments where I was like I need to open my view a little bit was it was a Grammys performance from Foo Fighters when they're doing, I forget the album, it was Wasting Light or something.
Yeah. So,
But it's the one with like Rope.
yeah.
But I really like that album, and they did a performance of it at the Grammys the year it came out. I don't know if it was like 2013 or something.
Okay.
But right after that, that song like transitioned into a Dead Mouse song.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That I would have been like, oh, gross, Dead Mouse, I don't care.
Oh.
But after that, while that song was playing, there was a shot of Dave Grohl dancing to the song and enjoying it. And I thought to myself, like, that guy is so grunge and so like deeply ingrained in rock music, and he's enjoying this. So if he can, I can.
Sometimes I think that I didn't maybe I didn't fully express all the influences and all the music that I enjoyed to all of you all the time. I think I listened to stuff, but we all have to come to it, right? We all have to come to where we make the decision what we're going to listen to. I mean, I already mentioned one in the past, but also when I was like 12, I went and I didn't know who Led Zeppelin was. And so I thought that all the kids talking about Stairway to Heaven were talking about the Beatles. And because I was that limited in what I'd listened to. And that made me want to listen to more stuff and be better versed, because it was, I guess it was kind of a moment of embarrassment, even though it wasn't really all that embarrassing. But it was a moment of inadequacy with my musical knowledge that made an impact at 12 years old. So that made me want to try and have a better scope of understanding. So, but yeah, I think I probably already liked Dead Mouse then, but I hadn't kind of shared that with you guys somehow. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah. I think the other thing that like kind of helped me want to just continue at least growing was like I felt like there was a couple years in high school where I kind of was like, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about anything. Anything could just happen and it's fine. It's not, I don't care. And not in like a like angry way, but in like a like dismissive
Yeah.
way. And I kind of like scared myself. I think it's like that I got afraid that I like lost the ability to feel things.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, I need to make sure that I can feel things, because like if I'm gonna be in a relationship someday, or have friends, not that I didn't have friends, but like
Yeah.
continue to have
Right.
friends,
Right.
like I need to be able to have emotion and connect with people. And
Yeah.
I felt like I'd kind of buried that for a long
Huh.
time. So I took put some effort. I yeah,
That
just
sounds like there's a
to
lot more
make
to
sure
that. I mean, I guess we only have a limited amount of time, because that sounds like a couple more hours of discussion as to how you got to there. But I'm sure it will come out over
overtime.
time. But yeah, that seems to be. Do you know why you got to that point, or was there some event that?
I don't know. I think it. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was just kind of gradual. Maybe it was like a development with like my sense of humor, where it's just like I want to make fun of or make jokes about anything, and
Yeah.
not feel like bad about making fun of something that might be hurtful or harmful to
Yeah.
others.
Well, I imagine, and I don't know that this is it either, but living in the South like we did, and
Mhm.
everybody is so concerned, and so maybe there was some kind of rebellion against that too. Of you're having different feelings about almost everything than everybody around us,
Yeah.
and so
Mhm.
maybe if you just don't care about what I don't, but that it's up. I mean, it's up to you to discover. But
Yeah.
I could understand. I've been to that place before, where, but not for the same reasons,
Mm.
but not for like what you said as maybe a possible reason. I've just like I don't need to feel because I need to get things done, and or, like don't
Mhm.
don't worry too much about uh, try and contain the panic or something. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I th-
That seems like a whole thing that maybe you'll discover. Maybe you know, but don't want to admit. But maybe there's some underlying things. That's
mhm.
the hard thing. Is like, is it? But that
Yeah.
is fascinating. I think that deserves some reflection on,
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
I do think I was also a little oblivious
Hmm.
in high school, because like I remember thinking like people talking about like being bullied in high school, and it's like, man, I really don't think I was, but I wasn't popular. I wasn't
Yeah.
insanely popular. We in a weird way, because like a lot of people knew who I was, but I wasn't popular.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, uh, Chloe, my wife, was telling me a story like how she answered a question in class, and some girl in class was like, "Oh, Chloe's so smart," and she felt really embarrassed and picked on. And
Yeah.
it's like I remember like I know that that's happened to me before, and I just thought, yeah, I'm smart.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that I was being trying to be picked on.
The okay. I don't want this to sound dismissive of things that can happen poorly, but every confrontation takes two people.
Hmm.
So, as I was told, it takes two people to fight. Okay.
Yeah,
So when it comes to bullying, uh, it does take two people, and you can now. Some bullies in some situations are relentless,
yeah,
but if you don't give them anything, they can't take anything, uh,
yeah.
to a degree. And I know that this is
Right.
many layered, but I was never bullied. I'm sure I was bullied, but I was never
Hmm.
bullied.
Right.
I had the same reaction. You got the psychosis that I have of I am smart. That is me.
Yeah.
Or just whatever negative comment was always like, oh yeah, that is what just that is what I'm like.
Yeah.
Like,
I think I even said that in a class one time. Like we were talking about bullying in like our English class or something, And I was like, yeah, I haven't been bullied. And one of my friends was like, you're stupid, Max. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm not going to feel bullied by that because
Yeah.
you're just saying it to
Yeah.
there, you've been bullied. And it's like, I
Yeah.
haven't.
Yeah. That I actually feel like I have more of a friend in you because of that, because
Yeah,
you cared enough to bully me when I had missed out on the experience.
right.
Yeah, it is difficult, but that is also the technique to deal with bullies, is take their power away by not giving them any power.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's
You know,
I,
and I guess
I
I was, lucky enough that nothing ever got like, if someone was trying to bully me, it never got like physical to anything. So,
oh, even when it got physical, I got in a fight when I was a
mhm,
kid. I was bullied in that sense that I got in a fight. I got sent home, and they got sent home, and I
mhm.
already told that story of like years later. Hey, didn't we fight? But we were in high school, and he's like, "Yeah, that was a rough time for me. My mom was getting, my parents were getting divorced, all this stuff. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
cool, man. I'm not like that.
Right.
Because it was a moment, but I don't feel like that was bullying. That was a kid having a bad day, and
Yeah.
also hopefully that's also signifies that maybe you had a at least halfway decent home life too. So we tried not to overreact about things.
Yeah.
um
Well,
I'm
yeah. I
sure
mean,
we
like,
did, but we tried not to. If you got hurt, we had to see if how much you thought you were hurt. You know, I mean,
yeah.
outside of when your arm was broken in half, that we took
Right.
care of. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it was like, I'm sure it was maybe like a conscious effort on your part, but like not really involving us too much about drama or like
yeah,
financial things.
yeah,
Because like I remember you were up here a couple of years ago and you told us about like the when we were living in the house with grandma and the stuff that transpired because of that. I had no idea. Like I
yeah.
didn't know any of that was happening when I was a child, and I was just being a child.
That is also intentional for sure, because we've seen some examples lately of folks who bring all the drama all the time,
Hmm.
and their kids know everything, and it's that's a lot. That's a lot to
Yeah.
you don't need to worry about where your next meal is coming from. We need to, because we're your parents. Now, you
Yeah.
may have worried about it because you were hungry, and you're like, when am I going to get something? But
Just because like it's dinner time is when
yeah,
I should be hungry.
but you have always been resourceful. It's what I think is really funny is how much, as we're going through things, I thought that I had a childhood where I was ignored,
Hmm.
but I wasn't ignored. I was allowed to be on my own
Okay.
by my
Yeah.
choice. If I had needed something, my parents were there, but I also was allowed to have my space. And so many of the things that you're saying right now are also things that I experienced growing up.
Hmm.
And so you've developed some of the unique characteristics. And as an example, when we because you had certain needs, you were a hungry young man, and when we gave restrictions to you about for safety of not being able to use the oven when we weren't with you, which is
Hmm.
or the stove, you found a way around it so you can make grilled cheese without having to use the stovetop, which is brilliant. And I was always hungry and wanted something, and I made all kinds of strange snacks just out of what we had,
Hmm.
because also had, needed to do something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, what stuff can I use? Okay, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
So, which led to the creation of the peanut butter and jelly mustard and mayonnaise sandwich. So, and what's even grosser is it wasn't mayonnaise. It was
Oh, it was
it was
Miracle Whip.
Miracle Whip. Yeah.
I remember when you tried to make us like Miracle, or you didn't try to make us like
No,
it. You
I
just
did
wanted us
not.
to experience Miracle Whip.
I wanted you to experience a bologna and cheese sandwich with Miracle Whip on white bread, because
Or on
pretty
Wonder
much
Bread.
all of that except for the plastic cheese were completely foreign to you guys.
That sucks.
Oh, it was. I even listen. I used to like that. That used to be my favorite, and it was still vile when we got it. And we got the best stuff. I mean, we got Wonder Bread and Oscar Mayer and everything, and the real stuff. It was vile. It was truly vile.
I don't get it. I don't get how people can like one
Yeah.
or Miracle Whip.
You get it's like, okay, so just because of how the news is, and this is kind of where it comes from. This is a tangent. This is a connection.
Yeah.
So right now, Trump is blaming Obama now for everything to try and distract from his personal problems.
Yeah.
And so, and the little news program is like, I don't think Obama is really bothered by this, because they showed a clip of him on a talk show, and it said, and Obama was like, so I know this is a controversial opinion in my family, but I don't think anybody should eat ketchup after 8 years old.
Yeah.
I was like, and so my thing is, I think Miracle Whip is a kid flavor. Like,
Oh.
it's like, because mayonnaise is more complex, just naturally. Miracle Whip is trying to be complex, and it's just, I think it's just I think it's a kid flavor. That's
Okay.
That's my, so like ketchup on hot dogs and Miracle Whips on sandwiches are both, to me, just there's a sweetness, and so it's a kid flavor. There you go.
Weird. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. I don't remember Miracle Whip being sweet, but
I don't know. Miracle Whip's
maybe
weird.
it was just the whole experience was bad.
The whole thing was.
Cool. Anyways,
Sorry.
so no, it's fine. Immaterial.
Yes.
To me, it feels like this is like the peak Sophie song. Like everything that is great and fun and enjoyable about a Sophie song is here.
Okay.
I'd say it's her best song, and probably just one of the best songs around.
Okay.
It's really fun. It's really like insightful. It's it's still danceable, has a great beat to it, while still being kind of unconventional, and it's like surprisingly minimal too. For as huge as it sounds, is how big of like an anthem it kind of is. The only percussion in it is some claps.
Oh,
that's really it. It's like,
yeah.
That's pretty much it. There's no like kick drum that, unless the kick drum is like tuned. Every single kick drum is tuned to the bass line.
Yeah.
Maybe there's that, but also I think the bass line is just hits really hard, and that it's enough.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really confident and empowering. I'll read this line, and it's I could be anything I want, anyhow, any place, anywhere, anyone, any form, any shape, any way, anything that I want.
Nice.
And to this day, it's kind of seen as like a very like gay and trans anthem. It's very triumphant sounding, and even some of the synths kind of sound like trumpets, very like regal in a sense. And just everything about it is great. It's really fun structure. It's really interesting to listen to too. As it's just, I just love this song. And when I switched from Spotify to using Apple Music, it was like one of the first songs I favorited to put on my favorite list, because like I don't want to be without this song. It's great.
Yeah. Very cool.
Even at times I still get a little emotional listening to it, because it's just so fun and so great, and so like understanding in a way. And
yeah. Very cool.
And then that one also, in like the same way that the last, that pretending very subtly led into Immaterial very subtly leads into the last song, the closing track.
Okay.
Which is called Whole New World, Pretend World.
Okay.
And this is very long. It's a pretty long song. It's a little over 9 minutes. And right from the get-go, you're hit with like probably the most aggressive sounds on the whole album. And it's just this like dissonant melody. That's all this like kick drum kind of white noise, metallic. It's like
cool.
Just nonstop. It feels kind of like tortured and cryptic in a way.
Yeah.
I was listening to it with like the like a lyric scroll, so like it would show you when it's saying lyrics, and even those are like pretty cryptic too. They're kind of like, I'm not really sure what you're getting at with these.
Yeah.
But with how manipulated the words are, it just kind of adds to the eeriness and the harshness of it.
Gotcha.
And then it also kind of feels like the whole album that you just listened to is like crashing down around you
Nice.
in
Nice.
a really cool way. Like there's a part in there's little breaks of chorus where there's like good like clean lyrics, but even those are very like loud in a way where she's saying like, I looked into your eyes, I thought that I could see a whole new world. And there's like a bunch of like siren sound effects, and for a moment get there, it's kind of like, you know, two-part track in a way. You get like a little peek of part two a little bit in this one.
Okay.
Kind of peeks in for a second and then comes back out. And as it's, you know, slowly transitioning in from whole new world into pretend world, it like deconstructs even more. As you know, whole new world is very like in your face and percussive, and there's all these like sounds flying at you from every angle, and pretend world is another kind of like ambient sounding track, and it very slowly, like, you're starting to hear the ambience come up and the percussion weird random sounds fade out.
Right.
It makes me think like it would be a whole like album of stuff like this would be like a really incredible like groundbreaking like movie soundtrack. Like it's so cinematic in that way, and how it's arranged.
Yeah.
And it kind of ends with this like spaceship sounding like UFO like zipping around your head, and it does that a few times. It does one final pass by, and that's it. And it ends.
Cool.
That's the last song.
Very cool.
So it's super cool. Very fun album, fun to listen to. And then I want to talk a little bit about like what happened afterwards with this
Okay.
album, or with Sophie in general,
Right.
because was it three years later, she died.
Oh no.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a random accident. She was in Athens in Greece, and she was trying to take a picture of the moon while on the rooftop there, and fell. It was kind of random and
Whew.
happened out of nowhere. But yeah, she, you know, just kind of it was gone suddenly. And, you know, out of that, there was a lot of like outpouring of condolences and praise for who she was, as pioneering as she was,
Right.
from people she worked with, but also from people who just admired her, like Rihanna and Sam Smith. Jack Antonoff said some stuff too. Phineas.
Yeah.
And
cool.
even Benny Blanco, as we
Yeah.
talked about him a little bit. And was also a lot of like musical tributes that came out of it, like songs written about her, about, you know, her impact on the artists, like from A.G. Cook again, but also from Charlie XCX on her last album Brat, which was a huge album. Like it was dominated, you know, all last summer.
Right.
There's a song called So I that's directly about Sophie and the influence that she had on Charlie to be like more daring and more
Wow.
you know, try more things and work harder to make better music, and how she was like kind of not a great friend to Sophie.
Oh.
And how she was like, I was kind of just scared and intimidated by how brilliant Sophie was, that I kind of distanced myself from her. And you know, I think she had called her around Christmas to try. Sophie had called Charlie to try to, you know, talk again and just hang out.
Yeah.
And like a month later, Sophie died.
Oh wow.
And so it's about that, like how much Sophie pushed Charlie. It's also about Charlie being like, I have to live with this now that I wasn't a good friend to her, and there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, that's rough.
And it also was kind of a disappointing posthumous album that came out, that Sophie's brother was kind of putting out there as kind of like credibility, to be like, it's not just coming out of nowhere as like cash grab or whatever, as, you know, a lot of posthumous albums are.
Right.
But it just kind of feels like lifeless and soulless. Like there's obviously Sophie influence in what it sounded like, but the way it was being pitched is that like this album was almost completely done, and I just don't think it was.
No.
What it sounds like is that she created a basic outline of the tracks for people to sing on. Like there's a lot of collaborators on this album,
Right.
and so some of her songs would probably be hard to sing to, record your vocals to, with how sporadic they are. So these were like just basic outlines that you could record the vocals, and she was going to change it, do her stuff to it later.
Right.
And never got to.
Yeah.
So there's not like bad songs in there, but they just don't feel like Sophie songs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe if I'm being cynical, it kind of sounds soulless, as like be like, oh yeah, she's dead, so it's soulless, and
Yeah.
it's not her.
Yeah, I can see that how that would happen, and
I don't think that was their intention, but
yeah, well, yeah, but it's hard because it doesn't. It's that masterful touch that gets missed.
hmm
There's a book that came out that was it was an additional Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book, but it
hmm
was written after Douglas Adams passed away by an author that I like,
mm
who, and it used the same style, the same similar humor, the same joke, like had funny ways of saying things throughout, and it just wasn't right.
yeah, right.
And it wasn't the same.
But I was listening to it. I was trying to figure out like what is it, and it's like, is it just because there's a lot of collaborators on it? But like
Right.
she's collaborated with a bunch of people, and they all there's a lot of variety in the songs that she's done, but they
Right.
all still feel like Sophie songs. So you can
Right.
tell that it was her doing it. And this one you just couldn't tell. Like a lot of them, they sound like really really good like Eurovision songs, which are fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're just not Sophie songs
Yeah. Okay.
at the end of the day. But what she did leave behind is still great, still like very revolutionary, and is still changing like modern music and how people produce songs and how people even just arrange songs and the sounds that they use. And I think it's going to for a very long time.
Very cool.
That's about all my thoughts on the album and on Sophie. It makes me, yeah, it's kind of sad that she wasn't around long enough to do like a movie score. It
Right.
would have been incredible.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That is too bad.
But yeah, what we have, what is, was released while she was alive is still fantastic and fun.
Yeah, that's really cool because I was looking at the Wendy Carlos, and she's
Mhm.
85.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
She had done a lot.
yeah, and so that the career arc could have been similar
hmm
based on the brilliance. So that is sad. Well, that's too bad. Yeah, that's a bummer of a wrap
closing.
up, man. I was looking forward to all the new albums I was gonna listen to, but there's only one.
Yeah. Well, there's two. You can listen to the product
Yeah.
too. That one's really fun.
Maybe. Well,
So
very
good.
cool. It's an interesting journey there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know that I'm gonna be able to pick out. I'm gonna have to get an old album in order to find something you aren't familiar with if I ever do music. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
I know. I was thinking about like what you said last week, where it's like, I want to talk about literature again, but put a buffer between it, so it's not all that you talk about.
Right,
And
right.
it's like, well, I maybe want to put a buffer between talking about music, but I think I might not all the time because it's just
Yeah,
a lot. I want to.
is that what's gonna end up being is throwing back and forth music and literature, and
Yeah.
see how far. I mean, I have enough that we could do. I mean, there's enough albums, there's enough poets, enough
No, Joe
literature.
Campbell.
Yeah, we could go for years, for years.
Don't come buy a car in the next hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Let this baby see you.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that. Now I'll go listen, and
Cool.
for sure, I listened to the last one, so it's good stuff.
Oh, good.
So I'm always up for a new experience. Excellent. Have a good week. I'm off to Canada this week, so
Oh, that's new.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
fun.
new. It's my first funny enough, my first jaunt into Canada.
Oh,
So yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. I don't have a really
Yeah.
good way to wrap this up, but thanks
No
for
problem.
sharing that, and I'm sure you'll be able to edit through this and
Find
do this.
something.
Yeah, but thanks.
Yeah.
Have fun. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you later.